Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to a new 2 million credit time trial challenge on Gran Turismo 7. This time we are at Interlagos and we are driving the 1966 Jaguar XJ13 on racing hard tires. This video is the highlights from my Thursday runs on this time trial. First I did an hour to see how far I could get, then I did a bit more because I got a bit stubborn, and then after work I did a VR run in the evening. And if you are enjoying the content, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It is highly appreciated. Now let's jump into my first attempts. This Thursday morning I didn't start straight away. I had stuff going on around the house, but we're jumping into the sport mode section, picking up the prize for that ridiculous time trial at Suzuka, and now we are jumping into this one for the first time. And we will use this very first lap to look at some brake markers, but ignore the driving as this is my first lap. Plenty of mistakes. We are braking just after passing the 150 board, roughly between the 150 and the 100 board, and you can see I'm clearly missing turn 1, so this is going to be slow, and you really need to find a good line through there. At least I'm not running wide on the exit, managed to keep the car in check, almost running wide. Now we're coming down towards the next brake marker, and that's just after the 150 board. You can also use that tree as a reference. Hard on the brakes down to second gear, and we are back up to third gear again. Coming through this corner, now we're coming up towards the next brake marker, which is going to be the 100 board. We are braking just before that one, down to third gear, and I am almost crashing because I was touching the outside of the track there. Don't do that. Here we are braking at the start of that tire mark on the outside of the track. We are slowing the car down, very clumsy through this entire infield, so just ignore that. I think I'm trying to exit in second gear, which is not going to work. Second gear very short. Here we are looking at that pathway, or you can use sort of the middle of the tarmac on the inside as a reference for this corner. And now we have got one braking zone to go. We are coming through this long left-hander, and here I am going to brake just as I get past that curb, and down to second gear, but back up to third gear, coming up the hill, and we are about to finish this first lap. This is going to be a rather slow 136.534, and on the following lap still a clumsy turn 1, but not as clumsy as the first attempt, so I am gaining time, and we are continuing through the center S's. It's all about being patient on the exit. This time I was upshifting to fourth gear, but you really need to make sure you don't run wide. But I'm going to throw it all away. I'm braking way too late, and I lost all the gained time on that lap. So we are coming into turn 1 for the third time, and this time I do a better job all the way down to second gear. Make sure to try to stay towards the left. You need the room to swing back over to the right, and here I'm short shifting to fourth, but I didn't have the patience. The car is starting to drift wide for me, and I had to take action for that. I'm braking a bit late for this corner, and that is going to cost me. I'm going onto that curb, and the car can get slidey if you are getting too aggressively on the outside curb. How are we doing this time round through these corners? Missing an apex. Am I missing the second one? Yes, that's consistency for you. We are getting the car slowed down. I am using first gear. I watched a couple of guides. I saw Titsney using second gear, and yeah, I'm sticking to first gear because I haven't watched any guides yet, but also later in the video it was helping me with the rotation through this narrow infield. We are making our way out of the infield, coming up towards the final corner, braking just after the end of the curve on the right hand side, and up to third gear, trying to get a good run up the hill, and you can see I have gained a lot of time compared to my slow first lap, and we are down to a 135.252. So we have done the first 3 laps now, and we are jumping straight back in because we still got a lot of work to do. We are coming into turn 1, making sure to be patient, but not patient enough. I was drifting too far towards the right, and that gave me a narrow entry into the middle part of the center S's, and that will always compromise your final run out of there. I am starting slowly to figure out the infield, keeping the momentum up despite these tight corners. And you can see second gear is not really, I was short shifting to third gear this time. Really you want to be in third gear as you start accelerating out of that corner, but I haven't figured that out yet. Here I am short shifting to fourth gear, struggling a bit with the understeer, almost running off the track there, getting the car stopped back up to third gear. And here it's all about staying in the middle of the track, and once you see the curb on the inside, then you seek towards it. If you are going too tight to begin with, you will run wide at the end of that corner. Now we're down to a 134.993, and of course I am pushing too hard coming out of the S's, so we are parking the car. Now we've done 20 minutes, it took some time to get a further improvement in. We carry on, we are only improving slightly this time. That was really a tiny improvement, and we carry on, and unfortunately I am losing control over the car right at the end of that lap, despite being on an improved lap. Now we are coming into turn one again. I was cutting quite a lot there. You can really take a big chunk out of that middle part, more than I did there. Once again, just trying to get the car to hug that left hand side until it's safe to go for the exit of the corner. And you really need to be more patient than you think. Now we are coming up towards the infield, missing that apex once again, but I'm trying to slowly accelerate up towards this corner into the braking zone, and this is all a tiny bit clumsy, hugging the inside. And you can see that second gear is not really that useful all the way down to first gear, but there's a big jump between second and first gear, so if you are using first gear for rotation, remember to really downshift late into that one. The entire infield was a bit shaky, but now we are getting a good run up the hill. You can see I am not keeping up with the Ghost, but it's not entirely running away, and I was gaining quite a bit there. So we're down to 134.448. I've used 38 minutes of my first hour, and we carry on coming into the center S's once again, trying to take a big chunk of that middle part. And now be patient. Am I going? Up to fourth gear, and this time I managed to get a good run out of there. You can see my time was down, but I started gaining, and now we are going across the line in a 134.334. And of course I mess up the following lap, which was faster, and I just outbrake myself, throw it all away, and I'm trying to keep it alive, but this time I'm just running wide, and I had to give up on that one. Now Jetta has joined the party. I have got 15 minutes left of my first hour, and this ended up being my best run within that first hour. Coming into the center S's, taking a big chunk of the middle part. Am I upshifting to fourth gear? There you are, and a bit of throttle control. Make sure to keep the car towards the inside until it's safe to just power out towards the outside. And using second gear and really coasting into that corner. You're coming into the corner a bit downhill as well, so you need to keep the car in check. Now we are getting closer to that apex and also getting closer to that one. I am about to have a couple of awful corners at the infield. I was actually turning in too early. Now the car is sliding. However, now I upshift straight to third gear, and I get a good run out of that hairpin. So I was gaining back some time, and I am short shifting to third gear there as well, and coming down the hill, also trying to short shift to fourth gear. And now we've got the final corner, braking after the curve on the right hand side, back up to third gear and get a nice clean pull up the hill. I am losing a bit of the game time, but we are down to a 134.186. 9 minutes left, and Jetta is really moving now, and I am going into overtime as I was hoping for a sub 34, but I'm also running out of time. I had to go to work, and I was constantly lurking at the watch to make sure that I didn't run late, but we're coming out of the S's and we are also coming through the infield now, and I am starting to short shift up to third gear right at the apex of that corner, because that seemed to work. We are really getting close, 134.054, and to be fair, that improvement came right after I finished my first hour, so I had my hopes up for a sub 34, but I also was having to keep an eye on the time, and that doesn't really help your time trial focus constantly lurking at your watch. But we're making our way through the S's, keeping the car towards the left hand side up to fourth gear, actually getting a decent run out of there. And we are about to finish this lap. We're coming through the final corner, and I am losing some time up the hill, but I knew I had to stop now. But I was really hoping this could be a sub 34, but no, this was only a tiny improvement, and I spent 38 minutes getting that tiny improvement. So now I had to go to work. We are jumping to the same day, but much later, and we are also jumping into the VR headset, because this car is really cool in VR, but I suddenly noticed a very strange thing. My entire body is missing, my head is flowing free in the air. But anyway, this is the final run of the video, and also the best run I've done so far. We are coming across the finish line, braking after the 150 board, and really trying to be patient coming into the first left hand part, keeping the car towards the left hand side, taking a big chunk of the middle part. That wasn't the best attempt actually, but we are short shifting to fourth gear, being patient, keeping the car towards the left with a bit of throttle control. Now we are coming in towards this left-hander. We are braking after the 150 board, down to second gear, back up to third gear. Be careful on that curve. You can see the car actually got a bit slidey there. Now we are looking for the 100 board, braking just short of that, down to third gear, and trying to accelerate up towards this next braking zone, but be careful putting back on the power. Using first gear for rotation, I could see on Jetta's Ghost that he was definitely doing that, the way he'd get the car suddenly rotating around that corner. Now we're braking at that pathway on the left hand side, also using first gear for the rotation. You can't just stay in second, this just worked better for me. Staying in third gear for a bit, but up shifting to fourth, still a bit of throttle control to make sure the car doesn't understeer wide. Down to second, back up to third, coming up the hill, and that was actually a bit wide, getting a bit of a slide on the outside curb there, so I've done better on that final corner. But we are rushing towards the finish line, and I am staying towards the left hand side for the shortest possible route to the finish line, and we are crossing the line in a 133.611. So I am parking the car this Thursday evening. I am happy with my run so far. There might be a tiny bit more in this, but that will be a grind to string a faster lap together with my skill level. So I will probably just try to maybe match that time on my two other accounts just for the fun of it, because I'm actually enjoying doing this time trial, and I'm getting to know Interlagos a bit better. Never been a strong track for me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining and maybe even somewhat useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.